Hello everyone. I'm going to talk about a Capstone project that we did as a part of our data analytics program at St. Clair Zekelman School of Information Technology. Financial markets and macroeconomic indicators. We analyze the data for the countries USA, Canada, and India. I'll introduce the team behind the project: Santosh, Rituraj, Vidya, Bhavita, and Sai Ganesh. This is a table of contents. We're going to briefly look at data set information, the tools, correlation analysis, machine learning, a bit of time series forecasting, sentiment analysis of news, and a web app that we designed to put it all together. Now we're going to have a look at our data source and the information. We have two broad sets of data: financial market data and macroeconomic data. How do we get our data to start the analysis? The answer is APIs. We leveraged APIs using Python programming. Let's look at the APIs that we used. Financial market data, we used Yahoo Finance APIs. For the macroeconomic data, we use Fred APIs on Python using Pandas data reader. With the help of APIs, we were able to retrieve data onto a local. Once we had data coming from APIs, we explored storage options to make our project end-to-end. We have used Microsoft Azure Functions to schedule data download periodically, and Azure Cosmos DB to store the data on the cloud. Now let's look at the correlation matrix for USA. This is a correlation matrix for USA. You can observe that the Dow Jones, the Nasdaq, and S&P 500 are highly correlated, indicating similar market movements. The S&P 500, a major US stock index, shows a strong positive correlation with inflation and GDP, and negative correlation with bond rates and bank interest rates. Now let us look at the correlation matrix for Canada. This is a correlation matrix for Canada. We can observe that the S&P TSX index, a major Canadian stock index, shows a strong positive correlation with inflation and negative correlation with bond rates and bank interest rates. Now let us look at the correlation matrix for India. This is a correlation matrix for India. We can observe that the Nifty 50 index, a major Indian stock index, shows a strong positive correlation with inflation and a negative correlation with bond rates and bank rates. Machine learning is a core part of our project. As a part of machine learning, we looked at time series forecasting and sentiment analysis modules. Let us look at some of the time series forecasting models that we use for a project. For our time series forecasting, we used XGBoost. We also used LSTM, FB Profit, and for our sentiment analysis module, for sentiment analysis, we used Stock News API to fetch stock news and then analyze the sentiment using NLTK module, which is inbuilt, and aggregate the sentiment score and classify them into positive, negative, or neutral. So we looked at all kinds of data that we gathered and the correlation analysis that we did, and also the time series forecasting and the models that we used and sentiment analysis of the stock news. To put it all together, we developed a web app. We're going to look at the web app walkthrough with my team shortly. The team will now walk you through the web app that we built for each module, explaining what each module does. Thank you.
Hello everyone, we are here to explain about financial markets and macroeconomic indicators of USA, Canada and India. Firstly, I will walk you through the app overview. We analyze time series trends, visualize data and check for correlation, forecast price using machine learnings and gain insights from news sentiment analysis. In financial market indices tab, we provided overview of major financial market indices such as Dow Jones, Nasdaq, S&P 500, and others. In macroeconomic indicator, we mainly focused on indicators such as GDP, inflation, unemployment, and other influential financial markets. In correlation matrix tab, we shown a relationship between different indices or macroeconomic indicators. In machine learning based price forecasting tab, we included different machine learning models such as XGBoost, LSTM, and other time series model to forecast the future data. Also, at last, we used the company's news and sentiment analysis tab to, in this section, aggregates a recent news article related to specific companies or the overall market. And the next part, we mentioned about key variable description for macroeconomic indicators and financial indices. When you click on this, it will walk you through the all the macroeconomic indicators description and their details. In the next part, we are focusing on financial markets and its description. At last, when you click on this, it will show a ETF ticker of the name of that ETF. With that, you can search for any of the stock. In the next tab, we are focusing on financial market indices historical data. We have given our option to choose three countries, USA or Canada. You can choose anything you want to see or check the flow. The next part, you can choose a period as well, 3 years or 5 years, 10 years, based on your opinion. And the next, it will show the adjacent close price of all the stock of that country's stocks. You can see the time series decomposition as well for trend. We can see the trends, seasonality, and residuals of that stock and based on the time period.
Hi, in the app overview part today, I'm going to show about the macroeconomic indicators tab. So here in macroeconomic indicators tab, we have created a column, a dynamic column. So once when you drop down this, we can see all the three countries, USA, Canada, and India. So once you select a country and click on submit button, we can see once it loaded all, we can see all the charts related to the country. For example, GDP, inflation, bond rates, unemployment rates, and bank interest rates are well. So for India, we don't have unemployment, which is not disclosed by the government. So we could just see four charts for India: GDP, inflation, bond rates, and bank rates. And coming to correlation matrix heat map, in this tab we have three dynamic columns. So one for the country, you can select the country, whichever country you want, and number of years. This number of years is regarding like how many years data do you want to use for the correlation matrix. And then the third column here, we can choose all the indexes for the country and the macroeconomic indicators of the country, and you can find the correlation for the countries for whichever country you have selected. So once you select the required fields, you could see a correlation map displaying here. One represents the strong correlation and zero represents the weak correlation. And for this, the selected indicators, you can see the underlying data for all these indicators here. Same goes with rest other two countries as well, which is dynamic. Once you select for Canada, and you can see all the indexes and the macroeconomic indicators for that for the Canada as well. Thank you.
In this part, we have created our machine learning model where we do a price prediction on any of the selected stock that we want to try for. For this example, we have selected the Tesla stock. Then here we have the duration part where we can select any duration that we want. For now, we'll go ahead with the 5 years duration. Then if we look here, we have the prediction model. So as part of our project, we have selected three models: XGBoost, LSTM, and MP Profit. So for this one, let me go ahead with LSTM. So if we select the model and then we can click on submit. So it is going to run in the backend. So we can see here. Right now the model is getting trained and the forecasting is in progress. So it will take a moment to do all the operation at the backend, and once it is done we can see the result here. So once it is done we can see that here we are just trying to predict the actual and the forecasted price of the adjusted close price of Tesla. And once you can see here, we have our actual price chart, then we have our predicted, and also we have our future predicted, which we have just tried to predict for the next 30 days. So we have created these are the interactive chart. So we can see like we can zoom in and we can see what is our prediction. So as of now, we could see like our actual price was around $162.13, while the predicted was around 150 something. And if we look at our overall prediction, you can see like it is showing a downward trend for now. Then if we come down, you can see the overall performance of our LSTM model. So here you can see like if you look at R square value, right? So the value is around 89.63. So which show like there's a strong correlation between our independent and dependent variable. And also if you look at the other error metrics, we could see like the values are quite low. So which gives us a good idea like our model is performing well on both the training and the test data set. Now let me just show you one more model. So as of now we use LSTM. So let me just try to show you the prediction for every profit as well. So here we can just select every profit, and let me say like we'll take the Microsoft stock instead of Tesla here, and let me just submit it. So as of now we are trying to do a prediction for the next 12 months, and if we see at our overall prediction, you can see here like we have our actual and predicted, and we are predicting it for the next 1 year. And in general, if we look, it is just showing us like there's an upward trend expected for the Microsoft stock for the coming 12 months. And if we look at this one, we also have the every profit, all the metrics value. So we have the mean absolute error, then we have square error and all. And here you can see like the I square value is coming around 0.6891. Apart from that, for the every profit, we have also plotted the trend component and the seasonality component. As you can see, like the trend component is showing an upward trend, which we have already seen as part of our prediction chart, and also the seasonality component is displayed here. So like this is the overall machine learning prediction part that we have designed for our application. Thank you.
When it comes to analyzing the stock, company news and sentiment analysis plays crucial role. For that reason, we have developed a separate tab for that. Here we can put the any stock name and it will show the bar graph of sentiment analysis related to that stock. Here we can see that for the Apple stock, the positive sentiment is 23, negative is 7, and neutral is 10. Also, we can see here the news data and separate sentiment score for each news data. So here we have used the stock news API to discover and implement this functionality.